So here we are with three different techniques, all showing that something anomalous was happening to the water buried inside. I'm perfectly certain this phenomenon is a beneficial one. It's not malevolent, but the energies that we're dealing with a set of very complex, subtle energies which interact in a personal way with our own metabolisms. People have these wonderful events and they come back and they're sort of radiant people. And this is lovely. But I have to say, and I do have to emphasize this quite strongly, that not everybody feels well. If they feel ill, come out very quickly. If anybody is pregnant or thinking of becoming pregnant, I'd say don't go in, because we don't know really what we're dealing with. And most emphatically, if anybody's got a health device which is geared by a battery, for goodness sake, don't go in. We've had too many electrical failures, dramatic electrical failures. Sometimes I've been flying over a formation and the instruments in the plane have gone all haywire. And my camera refuses to work just when I've got the most perfect shot. It won't work. Oh! But again, another thing we're doing is measuring the protein content of seeds taken from inside as opposed to outside. And what we found last year was that we're getting a 50% increase in the protein level from inside.
Maybe this can be connected to the increased growth rate that was shown in the crop seeds. But it also seems that human hormones can be influenced within the crop circles too.
Well, certain people, the thyroid was most affected of all. One woman had a 40% decrease in her thyroid level, and yet here we were in a time scale of between 2 and 2.5 hours and a 40% drop. So what the hell was going on? And this again shows us that in terms of scientific research, we are finding things existing inside the formations which don't exist outside.
I have to say that that phenomenon that occurred just now, when I couldn't turn my digital camera on, standing inside the circle, was impressive. I believe in energy forces. I believe that there may be very high energy here which could interfere with electrical equipment.
It just seems like it's some sort of energy, that's some sort of frequency that's different, but that it's a frequency that's affecting our skin and maybe even the blood flow, because we're having these little white things show in the skin that don't usually show there. So there's something, we don't know what it is, but it's something different that's radiating here from these plants.
Ja, jeg har rød. Jeg får motsatt nærmest. Du ser det sånn guri malla. Det blir helt sånn. Og nå blir det borte. Nå blir det borte. Da blir det vanlig. Så blir det vanlig.
Ja, ja visst.
Se på nå. Se. Ser syk ut, det tar du syk ut. Ja. Ja, du har virkelig det står på tjuke. Ja. You know what it was like last year when it was absolutely trash, wasn't it? They had all the different fries.
A new crop circle has been discovered and the excitement, as usual, is high. Is it genuine? And what are the patterns like? What about the geometry? And not at least, what sort of traces will we find here?
In some crop formations you go in and over the entirety of the whole formation, if you bend down and you examine the crop in detail, you'll find it's bent at the base, and then all along the rest of the stem there's no damage. It's just pristine. There's no marks or creases. Now we've got to be very, very careful because it's been here all day and we're not the first people that have walked into it. So people walking around are going to have added damage. So what we might see as damage, we might think is from the first cause, but in actual fact it's been done by visitors. I must say this is less damage than I've seen in some formations, but it is It is there.
Visible breaks on some of the crop stems can indicate that something physical has been used to flatten the crop. Or are these traces of other visitors who have been here before us? We can't find any immediate signs of stretched nodes or expulsion cavities either. So again, what or who is behind this one must remain another mystery.
72.
I think it's something like that. This is laid crop, and then it has a ring around the outside as well.
However, measuring the pattern shows that it's approximately 200 feet in diameter. It's a very clear geometric pattern, but only when it's seen from the air can we determine what it actually looks like. The geometry of the crop circles has remained an integral part of the studies for a long time. Some people have gone so far as to suggest that there is some sort of hidden code or message here. Others see the geometry just as an aesthetic expression. Mathematical fractals can only be made with the help of a computer, so how can they be created in a crop field? This appeared in the middle of the day and in under half an hour, without anyone in sight. Pilots who crossed the area with tourists confirmed this. Where do all these original designs come from that no one lays claim to? Are they crossovers from another dimension? Do the symbols represent a kind of communication initiative? Is this part of our evolving knowledge of reality?
The crop circles are coming down as shape, as form, as design. And I believe these shapes are touching something very deep within us. And these shapes are the language that conversation has been opened in, you know. I think the intelligence behind the crop circles has decided with great wisdom that this conversation, which has a long program and a long agenda, is best established with form.